o'clock, and call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence. Please be seated. Minutes of last month's meeting. Everyone has had their copy. Any additions, corrections?
No.
Then I will make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Treasurer's report. I hope everyone has had a chance to look at the treasurer's report. Any questions?
Rick, I know you had a question on the checking account balance.
I have the statements here, so we'll be going through them.
Okay.
So we're all set.
Yeah, when I turned in all the other reports with the bills, it hadn't come yet. It didn't come till yesterday.
Okay, so
I
the
haven't
report's
reconciled it or
correct then?
Oh, the treasurer. Yeah, that had nothing to do with the treasurer's report.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
double check.
That's just our review of
So I usually let you guys
That's good.
handle.
So I will make a
finances.
motion to accept the treasurer's report. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Bills presented to pay. We have vouchers 1 through 25. I think the only thing that was noted, and Joanne, this is just for you, the bill for the PPE that came in, the 3 invoices are literally 3 separate invoices. We have to pay all 3. Because they bill when they ship the garments. So like when they shipped 2 of them, and another invoice was 3, and the other invoice was 5. So just make sure you have to adjust the balance on
Okay.
that to make sure you include all 3 invoices in the total. With that adjustment in there, the total of the bills presented is $56,011.98. Does anyone have any questions?
Just one thing to note. I noticed Verizon still got a router fee in for Station 2 and Station 3. We do not lease a router from them, so I will be giving them a call tomorrow. So Joanne, you may see a credit on the next invoice for those amounts. I'll figure out what the total amount was, so and get it over to you.
Then I will make a motion to pay vouchers 1 through 25 for a total of $56,011.98.
Second.
Tony?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
All right, communications, we did have a couple this month. We had a very nice thank you letter. I can open it up and read it, please. Thank you for sending the flowers. It was thoughtful of you for thinking of me, Adrian Jetty. We received a solicitation from Pinnacle Investments, potentially looking to take over our LoSAP program, which we could look into if we would like. And I thought there was one other thing. Oh, I was thinking the Central Rhone Region Fire District Association invite for their next meeting. Those are the 3 things I was thinking of. Can I compare it?
Yeah, I'm just.
What we have currently. Commissioners reports. I don't have anything under administration, Chris, unless you do.
Just nothing right now.
Okay.
Talk to you about it later.
Under financial, we are in the process of working on a refunding bond. We are signing the paperwork this week, between Wednesday and Thursday. Comptroller's approval has been given, and we will be sending it over to the bank on Friday.
Becky, can you mention what we're saving, and is it the same? I'm drawing a blank, I'm looking at the terms, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's important to mention.
Just give me a minute.
Let's see if I can find it too.
I mean, that's big.
I just gotta figure out which email it's in.
I see it's 1.3%, correct?
Oh, you got it. Look at you go. All right, so, in reviewing this refunding bond, comparing the refunding with the original plan, you will see that the plan had a net present value of $95,973.83. Comparatively, the net PV savings under this plan is $174,384.43, for a savings difference of $78,410.60 after all fees and expenses apply.
You want to say 50 cents? 50.
Which number?
The savings, $78,410 and
60.
60.
And the budget is ongoing being worked on, so I don't have anything else in financial right now.
Continuing out budget dates, and do we have a,
They're Tuesdays.
Yeah,
every other Tuesday?
Until we're done, or September 29th.
yeah, I think we budgeted them out to the end of September, so.
Okay. And then hearing in October.
Yep. Truck maintenance, Tony?
Yeah, it's small. RP3 PM's completed. The warranty repair on the generator was completed. There is a recall notice from Cummins that is being addressed, just waiting on some parts to come in. But, you know, it's safe to run, and it's been documented with the dealer, and just when they get the parts in, because they're on national back order, once they come in, they'll call me and get taken care of. And PMs are moving forward slowly.
So I just wanna, sorry, I know truck maintenance
That's
is your
all
thing.
good.
I just wanna make sure it's noted that there's a lot of random stuff flying around about the engine 41 and the motor having the failure there blowing. It was noted a few days ahead that there was a minor oil leak. The oil leak did not cause the motor issue. It was a thermostat valve that was stuck that caused severe overheating that did that. No one intentionally did it, which has been spinning around, and it was not also negligence on the side of the truck maintenance, because I'm tired of seeing that on Facebook, and I'm tired of hearing it. It was an unforeseen issue. It was not anything to do with the oil leak. So it is unfortunate, but I don't want to see anything keep flying around that's misinformation. Anyone has any questions? Anything like that? We now have an email address that'll forward to the commissioners. It's commissioners@northwestfd.org. So feel free to send an email to that if you have any questions, and it'll come right to us.
I know Jeff is not back yet. I'm sorry, Tony, you didn't have anything else, did you?
No, but I'd like to move forward with the lift and get that done. That's on here.
Okay, so
We
you're,
can skip it and come back, and we're gonna have to come next time too.
well, I mean, it's just the rent of the lift, I mean, every,
Right, but I don't know, Jeff had more.
Oh, gotcha.
parking lot and things like
gotcha,
that.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna skip over and come back. I don't know, so there's the RT piece from the workshop. the water softener, the little giant ladders, the lights for the fire police, which I would like to talk about again, and the vehicle identification stickers. Just because of what has gone on in the past with us buying lights and returning lights, and I reached out to the fire police captain and asked him if he had had a conversation about this and if this was something that they wanted. His response to me was that out of the 4 individuals, there's 1 individual that really wants it. The rest of them do not really particularly want them and probably won't use them if we buy them. I was informed that the department, so this is going back a ways, the department actually bought them yellow lights at one point. And he said, I have that yellow light sitting in my garage on a shelf in the box where it's sat since I got it. So I am not in favor of going out and spending money again to buy lights that they don't want or aren't gonna use. If the one individual feels uncomfortable and wants this and then I'm fine buying the one, but I don't wanna buy all of them to have them sit on a shelf and collect dust. That's just my opinion, but I thought I would share that with you guys.
I don't disagree with that, but by the same token, I'd like to know what all the fire police are using for visibility when they're on the scene, because it's ultimately our responsibility to make sure they're protected. So there needs to be some kind of an agreement to make sure that we're covered, so that somebody doesn't get clobbered and we get sued going, you didn't provide them the equipment. If we buy it for them, they should be using it. It shouldn't be sitting, and I realize we're talking about the fire department, but it shouldn't be sitting on a shelf, because at the end of the day, we're gonna be on the hook. So I think that question needs to be answered, and we need to see where they're at as far as to make sure there's adequate visibility when they're on the scene.
Not for nothing, when an alarm goes out, they are under the jurisdiction of the chief in the chief's office, and to do as directed by the chief's office. If we decided we didn't want to run a light on one of the trucks to a call to the scene.
Yeah, I don't think that's apples to apples, Chris, because I'll be damned if you're gonna put a 26-inch yellow light on the top of my brand new truck. It's a different, I think Rick's onto something. I think,
No, I understand.
I
It
just
doesn't
think it
have to
needs
stay
more
permanently. It's
Either
magnetic.
discussion or something, because.
yeah, we're not
Yeah, and I'm
there.
not saying
Right.
buy it just to say, but I'm just saying, because they don't want it, I don't think we should just throw the whole topic away and go to the next subject, because if they're not covered and they're not visible, that's ultimately gonna come back on us. So we can hold off on buying the lights, but we still need to have that discussion of what do you have, is it adequate with all of them, so that we're covered.
Agreed.
In mind, and where I was really going is that I think the chief's office needs to be 100% on board with it as well, as they're also responsible for those fire police members while they're on the scene during the alarm. So I want to make sure the chief's office is completely on board and the fire police are going to comply with that.
So I guess at this point, we pull out of or put a hold on the PO number 2047. So just put a hold on that.
And I think it's just earn some more conversation.
Yeah, fair enough.
The new RTPs that were added, there's the printer for the treasurer that we talked about, $250. Repairs to 25 pieces of turnout gear, $4,375. Spare batteries for car 1 and car 3 for portable radios, $166. And then I also have the request that was given to me, sorry, for the 4 cars for extrication at a total of $600.
So the cars weren't originally in there.
No, the cars were not in that total.
You said 600?
Yes. That's it.
74 in total without the added the cars.
That's what I got to.
I'm sorry, what was it?
74, 71.
Even?
Yeah.
Wow. So, any comments, questions, any discussion, you have anything?
I don't. If there are any questions, I'll make a motion to move forward with vouchers 2045, 2046, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051. You got it for the cars or no?
I don't.
2052.
2052.
At 2052.
For a total of $7,471 even.
I would second that.
Colleen?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Your turn.
Uh,
Oh, sorry, did you have anything else?
We're, the PC, or the patrol PC, we're gonna discuss that, or is that under a different?
I second our new business.
Okay, all right. Other than that, the only thing is, we did go up last week and clean out engine 41. All the stuff is in the trailer up there at Station 5. Jeff and I are gonna go through tomorrow, and get off what we need to up there, and then bring the rest of it down here, the hose and the ladder, since they're doing ladder testing. So, we'll be bringing that over here. So the hose still has to be rolled. I mean, other than that, I think we got everything out of it that we need to. If there's any miscellaneous things, I guess that's up to somebody if they need something.
She wanted us to jack up the truck and take the tires off it. That's about all we left.
And
Look
we
at
might
me.
be able to get more out of the tires.
And drag it away?
They're probably pretty new.
They look
too.
pretty nice.
So, that might be something. I bet
Move
you-
on.
I bet you Kenny would buy it.
Move on.
Okay, now Jeff, sorry.
Sealing the parking lot here has been completed. Joanne, I don't know, they were gonna send a bill.
I have it.
They need a tax form.
Oh, okay, I think it mentioned that.
Yeah, and I have something on the contract, the signed part of the contract. I told them I'd email it all together. One thing that bothered me, that they had a perfect week weather-wise. We didn't have a lot of alarms, so, but they decided to Thursday to drive the ladder truck on it and didn't tear it up. I wasn't really pleased about it for whatever reason they did it, they did it. But the guy said they'll lay back down eventually. The gear washer at Streets is hooked up. Joanne can go ahead and try it out, see if it works. Me and John ran a cycle through, so we had to get the hair out of the soap thing, so it's working. And what's your decision on the scissor lift for a couple projects I have?
I'll make a motion to purchase, to rent the scissors lift for $800.
I'll second it.
My plan is to do the.
Let us vote on there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
There you go, John.
Okay. My plan is to do Station 2, removal of the old exhaust system. My trailer's gonna be in the back, so I'm gonna throw all the scrap metal in the trailer, so I will put a thing out for Station 2 to just get rid of it. But that's my plan.
So that we don't run into issues like we had last time, get with me or Wayne or Joanne to use one of our cards.
We have an account.
Oh, we do? Okay.
We have an account at United Rentals.
Okay.
With that said, the exhaust system is set to be delivered within the next 3 weeks. I wanted to ask you where you would like all, because they're gonna deliver all of them, and then coordinate with us to do the install over the next 2 months. I don't know if we can bring them all here. They will not deliver them at, all
Each
different
site,
locations.
we can here, or the pole barn, or.
My thought was the pole barn.
Yeah,
Because
like,
I
so
don't
secure-
want them out on the floor or
Are they
apparatus
gonna be
floor.
laid
Yep, all the equipment
We
is
have to get
labeled.
them to that. we have to-
No, they will come and pick them up the days that it is ready to install.
And I
So.
told Ron we can move some stuff around.
Okay, I'll let you know when I get an actual date. I told them I need a few, I need like a week in advance, preferably, so. But good news is they're almost ready to deliver and install, so.
Now, Station 4, we have to get an air compressor for that?
Yes, we do. I have the specifications of what we need at home. It is nothing that over the top, so, I'll get that for you. So,
You do have one out there, Chad. You have one, does it work?
Pardon?
The one that's there, does it work?
Yeah,
So
it's
it'll
Station
need to be
4, it's
secured
just
to
a
the
small
floor.
one.
So, in some way. It was not that, elaborate, no, it was very small, so.
Wayne, what did you have that you needed to?
Just one last thing I forgot, the new gear came in, I'm working on getting that issued. And, the bunker pants that came back from repair also, so I'm working on getting those redistributed. One of them had to go back out because they didn't do it. And then right now, there's one coat that had to go back because it was like 3 sizes bigger than the person. So I don't know what happened with the measuring there. So, Mike stopped back down last night and he took the gear and he's gonna send it back out and get it repaired.
Security and computers?
Just got, obviously, the printer that Wayne just got, so we can get that up there. I'll coordinate with the IT company, they can come out and install it and set it up on your computer for you. Preferably a day you're there, so they can just run through it with you.
Yeah, preferably.
I've sent a couple emails out, so I'm sure people are tired of hearing it. Scan the email now works on all the printers that have scanning functions. If you have an issue, let me know. I've noticed it popped into the spam folder, so just check that first. And then I'm coordinating with Red NMX to set up a full in-depth training for Megan, myself, and Wayne. They charge by the person after 4 people, so I'd like to try to keep it to that, and it's kind of a train-the-trainer program, so we'll be able to work on it down. So.
It? All right, safety, Mr. Hopper.
Yes, good evening. No reports of injuries or illnesses since our last meeting, and it includes COVID. All quiet there at this point. Heat advisory, it's going to be around a while. Make sure our crews are getting hydrated, make sure you're hydrating yourselves, even for your home activities. Stay lubricated. COVID preparations, I've got a small committee working on areas that we may need to improve on or may not. I'm looking for feedback. I've got the chief's office tied in, as well as the commissioners and the safety committee. Anybody has any questions or concerns, bring them to our attention and we'll talk about them and make sure we're on the right track. This is preemptive, doesn't mean it's going to happen. We want to be ready for it if it does, if it escalates. Today's positivity rate stands at 4.7%, which is still relatively low in the state of New York. I did hear some indications that New York's doing what they have to do. So we're doing the right things up here. I've got to speak highly of this next thing, the fall protection lift, the use of scissors lifts. I know Jeff and I have talked about this before. This elevates the safety margin to a larger margin working in that device. Instead of having to rely on scaffolding or ladders, this will take the operator up to the level of the ceiling, in this case, to do the work he needs to do. He's encapsulated inside a framework. Jeff, you and I need to talk. I want to see what kind of modeling you're getting and what they're requiring for fall protection, if any. Some companies require it by design, others don't. So we just need to make sure and then get you trained on a harness. The last thing I have here is turnout gear maintenance and cleaning. Second gear washer's coming online, so the excuses of, well, I can't wash my gear today because those are quickly disappearing. So don't line up behind that group. Get involved, get engaged, learn how to use the equipment, and do yourself and your gear a favor. Does anybody have any questions for me? One addendum I want to mention here, and I didn't say in the COVID preparations, was North Syracuse Fire Department as a peer. The individual's name is Pat Brennan, he's the chief of department. Pat and I work together, I've worked for him, he's worked for me over the 30 years we worked up at 9 Mile. So we have a pretty good read on a lot of this stuff, and if I have a question, I can go to him and he'll be glad to give the answer, and I'll do reciprocal. So, not shutting anybody out or cutting anybody out, but it gives the opportunity to get another point of view from someone who's experienced it. That's all I have, and it's brief if no one has any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Keith?
Hello, sorry about being late. We've been having a good month, even though summertime does bring some downfalls, and the downfall is manpower. A lot of people are either on vacation, off doing or enjoying the weather, whatever the case might be. But we've still managed to respond to all our calls. We haven't had any hiccups or anything of that nature, or any mutual aid being called in unless we requested it for whatever reason. However, this Saturday is going to be a little bit more of an issue with what's going on in the village and the shortage of manpower. But we are still working on making sure that we can handle being on the water, having a standby at Station 3, also having standby for the fireworks as well. So everybody that is responding is doing a good job. There's 84 total calls in the month of July from the reports I've been getting. Well responded to, and a lot more response from Station 4. Granted, they are down a vehicle, but they are doing well in attempting to get to the calls, and I appreciate that. I'm a little winded and also hot from being in my turn up here, so I apologize. I wasn't here for the beginning. I don't know if there was anything on the truck or anything. No? Okay. All right. I think I'm going to end there because I'm still trying to get over being heated over here. I am proud of the guys and the people that are coming. Unfortunately, there will be a resignation that makes me a little bit sad, but unfortunately, the individual has finally decided that they need to leave. And it kind of takes me down a step, because I believe that the individual, had they been treated more fairly, they would have been able to do quite a lot for this department. It's unfortunate that the one thing that we seem to not draw from is the women in our department. Nationwide, stories are coming out that the one entity that is out there and available to us, especially in New York State, doesn't seem to be one that is pulled upon, and that's the women in the fire service. So when I lose someone that is devoted to the department and unfortunately was treated unfairly in the department, it bothers me, okay? Especially since the person is a friend of mine. So the idea is that I think we need to move forward in such a sense that we look at the women that come to us. Don't dress them like clowns. Don't treat them like they're anything other than a quality person here to help out the community, and try to move forward with them in a manner such as we would for our fellow members that are men. And hopefully that will come true long before I retire. So I just think we need to do a better job of it.
I gotta chime in. Coincidental, I think, and I happened to talk to one of the board members of Baldwinsville Fire this afternoon. Total, nothing to do with that, but it's relevant to where we are in today's fire service. I'm very concerned being out with my career in the community and in the state, you know, from Binghamton to Wellesley Island to Herkimer County to Monroe County. We're all in the same boat. It's very interesting to me, because looking at, for example, a bylaw in the Baldwinsville Fire Company or the Lysander Fire Department or I don't know, Gates Tri-Life Volunteer Fire Department. You take those documents in their rules and regs set up, bylaws set up. What's interesting to me is every district, department, combination we're all in the same struggle. I'm wondering, and I'll say this very clearly, does our rules and regs on membership, is that conducive to today's fire service? And we could pick a million different things apart, but the point is, our core mission, and why the fire districts exist, is for fire protection. The old days, we knew that to be a member, you had to do this many fundraisers and this many that and that many that. I'm wondering, and again, I'm not getting on a soapbox, if somebody's saying, listen, I'm gonna come to 5 calls a week and make 2 trainings a month and ride our fire trucks, there's value in that, right? There's value in that. Doesn't mean that the other stuff's not important, but on the other side of it, the other stuff, what if they don't wanna do the 5 calls in the 4 trainings, but they're gonna do all of our support staff? Again, yes, your issue is very relevant, and as you know, but on a bigger scale, I think we need, the state needs, but the Northwest Fire District needs to really take a hard look at what are we asking our people to do? What are the, where's the value? Again, everybody has value, but I think, man, we got to take a hard look at, does everything meet today's needs and the limited time that we have? The limited time.
We have a committee right now.
I know.
Doing those.
I know that, but it needs to be mentioned on a much harsher, loud scale than, just outside of our 4 walls.
Right. And I'm not putting down the district.
No,
I'm putting down
we're all in this together.
I'm putting down the attitude that has been on surface, and that gorilla that's hanging out in the corner there
Yeah.
for the lifetime of the fire service.
Fair enough.
All right? We need to open our eyes, open our hearts, accept women as equals, and let them do the job, because both of them kick our ass and do a good job. But we don't look at them at that way. So that's what is driving me. What we're doing on the basis of the rules and regs has nothing to do with the attitude, unfortunately, that we can't change. We're losing pride in what we do. We're losing pride in the people that come to us. Do your job, do it well, and support them. But we just started doing that in some parts. And I'm proud to say that the committee that is working on the new rules and regulations is trying to be as fair as they can and trying to get as much input as they can, but things will have to change. So my sadness shouldn't kill anything down, but the idea is that I think we've lost a lot of people along the way because of attitude of the personnel that are here. And I would like to see that change. Hopefully I'll live long enough to have that. I've been in the department for 45 years. And basically, I have to be told a few times, I can't live up to your standards, Tony. Well, I'm not asking you to live up to what I do, but do what you can do and do it best as you can. So, having said that, moving on, we are moving forward. We're doing a good job out there. I'm proud of the people that are here doing it. And I just hope that they realize that we still work as a team. We're one department, Northwest Fire District. We're getting a little bit better. We're not tripping over ourselves when we say that. And even though 911 Center will come back as Baldwinsville or a Lysander, after being as many years as Lysander's been around, we have, it's easy to do. But we are doing well as the Northwest, and I hope we continue to do so. I'm all set on that. Thank you.
So we have no nominations or resignations or changes this month. Old business, we have resolution 2127 to dispose of surplus.
Resolution to dispose of surplus, number 21-27. Whereas pursuant to section 176-23 of Town Law, the Northwest Fire District, located in the towns of Lysander and Van Buren, Onondaga County, State of New York, does hereby declare that it is multi-equipment that is no longer necessary for the uses and purposes of the Northwest Fire District, does hereby declare the following items of equipment, apparatus, or personal equipment is no longer necessary for the uses and purposes of the Northwest Fire District, and the estimated value is less than $20,000. 1993 Spartan, VIN number 4S7AT9 D08RC 012305.
So we cannot dispose of that yet.
We can make the
Understood,
resolution,
we
we're
can
not
just
getting
make
rid of
it
it.
surplus.
Yeah, but putting it up for sure.
All we're saying is.
We're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, it's just getting it done, so when we are ready, we can do it.
We can hang on to it and see.
Yeah, I'm just,
Tony,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Chris.
yes with reservations.
Hall rental, I'm not sure if this is just leftover from last.
And we never, at the workshop, you just continued.
Continue workshop.
Yeah, I think we need
Alright, yeah,
more
I
of a
mean,
meeting than here
Yeah.
to
We
hash
got-
out numbers.
We got the information that we needed that we didn't have at the workshop now, so, next workshop should
If
be.
you don't, I got it right here.
okay.
That's next one.
New pumper.
Okay, so working directly with Deputy Chief DeGregorio, we have come down and narrowed down to the manufacturer we would like to move forward with. We had 4 manufacturers submit, Pierce, Spartan, or sorry, 5, Pierce, Spartan, E1, KME, and Toyn. All submit for what they have for a stock pumper, either currently or that could be available before the October 1st timeline that we gave them. There's a few that could be a little bit longer that we just considered, but unfortunately didn't make the cut. The units that were disqualified were due to criteria that did not meet the spec/wish list that the committee and chief's office came up with, such as a couple had 750 gallons instead of 1,000. One of the trucks had a hose bed that was 8.5 feet off the ground, with a length of over 33 feet. It was a rescue pumper body, just too big. One only had a 5-person cab, and it narrowed it down to Pierce and KME. We feel that the Pierce provides greater value, as well as it is just under, or just over $4,000 cheaper when you factor in everything, all inclusive.
You say 4 or 14?
4. So adding different things that the pumpers did not have that is still able to be added, that are beneficial to us, that's stuff on that spec sheet that the chiefs came up with, puts them in that close range of 4,000. However, the different features, offerings, quality build of the Pierce outweigh that of the KME. So, is there any questions?
I have tons of questions.
So, delaying awarding it presents the problem of these two can go at any time. Both manufacturers are holding those units as much as they can, waiting on a decision from us. So,
We'll let her ask questions.
Well, I don't have even anything to look at to ask questions about. We weren't involved in any of the meetings, we were given no paperwork. I am not gonna vote one way or the other on a $500,000 project with no information.
I apologize for that. We talked a couple of times. I wasn't asked for any information specifics.
Well, do you have a spreadsheet that,
Yes.
can you present the spreadsheet? So what I look for, okay, so just for clarification, the committee designed a punch list or a basic spec, whatever you want to call, of the needs. And what happened was, we had the catastrophic failure of engine 41, so we took that list, see, we took that list and sent it out to 5 manufacturers and said to the 5 manufacturers who has what in a stock vehicle that's close.
And sorry, Tony, just so you know, it was sent out to 11 manufacturers.
Okay,
It's just the
all
5
right.
that responded.
Okay, went out to 11 manufacturers, 5 responded. I can use Toyne as a great example. Toyne come back with a truck and says, yes, I got this truck, but it did not come close to what was within our punch list. And then within the punch list is a basic rescue pumper, or I'm sorry, basic pumper, basic engine, 1,000 gallons of water. There was nothing in there. If anything, there was almost bare minimums because we weren't looking to build a full Cadillac, for lack of better terms. So it was components based. So as I used the word Toyne, their hose bed was 8 feet tall. We want a lower hose bed at a 6-foot range that'll allow for 1,000 feet of hose, straight up engine. So that ruled them out. And then we received some, what did they request, poles, rough things like that. Some of them come in at 700,000. That's not where we're going to be. So now, when the committee when the Chris and the chief's office met, and KME and Pierce were close. Just so happens, and to my surprise, KME came in at more money. So we are within our budget of where we want to be. The concern is, Chris, as you and I talked, we want to be able to see it. I want to see it and see it. And then we can look at it and say, yep, 100% this is the best bang for the buck. That's what, and how did we rule out everything?
I did forget, it doesn't list what the, specs are, it's just the overall layout of the vehicle.
So,
I'm one voice. If you
Yeah,
guys want to
so-
pull a vote. I'm just saying, I'm not ready to cast a yes vote.
Yep.
why don't you just get us the paperwork that you have, see what questions come up and answer them, and then we can have a special meeting to,
What paperwork do you want? Because I got a book from Toyne that's about that tall.
You
I
know-
got from KME like 160 page as-built sheet. So what paperwork do you want, or do you want to just see the spreadsheet where I went through?
In my opinion, Chris, I can't speak for these two people. Sorry, Becky.
It's okay.
Whatever you got, lay on the table. And the spreadsheet, as you and I had mentioned, Rick built one when we did truck maintenance, and that's how we sorted it out was, yes, everybody sent us all they had, but when he put it on the spreadsheet, it made sense. 6-man cab, 5-man cab, 6, water's pump, they all make, 750 gallons, 1,000 gallons, 750. These rule us out because we need 1,000 gallons of water. I don't want to mess with our ISO. Some people don't care, I do. And commercial taxpayers will care about that. So that's all we're looking, or how did you rule it? And then again, if this is the truck that makes sense, I am all in. We're just looking to see the roadmap that you got. And once you have that, I say we move, because I understand this as well, that they are holding on. There's 2 vendors that are on hold, and they can sell these a dime a dozen. I don't want to lose. I think the price on this truck is really, really good based off of my profession and career, and I think it's a good truck. We just need to know, that way when they ask us how we got there, because this is an easy decision for us.
Yep.
That's what I think. If you can produce that for us, we could vote on it any day, but we need that to do that.
And one of the benefits and the reason the Pierce came in cheaper is it's not finished built yet. So they're able to make those changes, add those things, where the other vehicle has been finished and is currently in Indianapolis.
I agree with you, and I agree with this truck. We just need to see it, the roadmap to get it, and then we can do it. But it's tough to spend $500,000 without seeing how, you know, how you ruled out some of that stuff. So that's my opinion. You know, once you provide that, I'm ready to vote, because I think this is the right way to go for our taxpayers. We just need to know that we got there the way that we did. And we need to do that, like,
Yeah,
not like 2 months or a month,
No,
or
I'm
even
gonna-
2 weeks for that
I'm gonna
matter.
get it up tonight or tomorrow to.
You know,
go
and then
through.
call for a special meeting and we'll, you know, talk about it, but it just should happen.
Yep.
In my opinion.
We can even, if you want to, plan for the first half of the budget meeting next Tuesday. Set it for, dedicated to this, so we already have a date set to have a decision made.
Yep. I think,
So, I'll get the
if these
information
guys
out.
wanna sell us the truck, cause as I said, and I don't mean to sound arrogant about this, they want our product in the Northwest Fire District, each and every one of those people.
Absolutely.
So, that's my opinion.
Alright, I'll get this information out to everybody.
That was it for old business, unless somebody has anything else. Okay, I have one thing under new business, and I apologize, I kind of forgot to put it under there. Pursuant to the conversation about the Rhino tabs that we were having, Wayne worked with Chief Natoli and came up with a list of items that were needed. Sent that list to Advanced Electronic for the quote for PC Patrol. They came back, they did quote 2 tablets for our discussion of budget and where we were going. And actually, because of equipment that we already have on hand, things that Derek thought we might not need because of that, for 2 tablets, the total was $8,548.88, which is pretty much the price of 1 tablet that we've paid in the past.
Is the other equipment just?
I think it's mounts and, yeah, things that we already had on hand. I don't know if there was anything else that Derek specifically mentioned.
There was the mounts, they were talking, he said that he wanted to use the existing keyboards, and he said that based on where the county's going, that he wasn't gonna need the wireless cards and SIMS cards and PCs either, so. I mean, that was the major part of it, and then, of course, the installation. The people that they used is like triple what we could use doing it local, so. I mean, that was, just the installation alone was $1,500, so. Crazy good price compared to. Chief, I'm not sure if you know, what these we slated for the car 4 and 5.
I know that one of the vehicles, one of the chief's vehicles doesn't have one. However, the new one will go into car 4, and then the one from car 4 could go into car 5, which leaves us with another one to go in either a SWAT or something else. If we were to get 2. Right now, we were only anticipating getting 1, which would have been replacing car 4s. Because remember, we did have one that was accidentally damaged in the squad 1 out here, so getting a second one could go in the squad. Since we were told that the new pump would come with one as well.
Well, this does, the engines have to start to get cycled out too, right? With the computers that are in there, or no?
Which one?
any of them that are, do any of the old engines have tablets that need to be cycled out, or?
Yeah, there are a couple of, I mean, we can, once we get it, we get the second one, we know where the first one's going, but having a second one, which we weren't planning on having, we can put it where it's comfortable. We can always put it at the end, do one in the engine, take one from the engine and put it in the squad. So, yeah,
Because the use isn't as heavy.
we're open to that once we have them presented to us.
In the intern, if you want, and I can talk with Chief Controlling on it, but I can have our IT provider take a look at any of the ones that need to be replaced for the signed meeting and see if there's any repairs or anything that they can
We're
do.
still well within.
Would you like me to work with Chief Controlling
Why
on
don't we do that?
that? We have a contract with them that covers the labor and everything, so.
I'm sorry.
We also have the one that came out of 41. So I mean, in the meantime, if you wanted to put it in the squad, you could put it out again.
Yeah. Okay. So that came out of 41?
Are we good with questions? I'll make a motion to buy the 2 Rhino tabs for a total of $8,548.88. There's room in the communications budget to cover it.
You won't second that.
Rick,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah.
Any other new business? Station usage, Station 1, August 22nd for a chicken barbecue for the fire department, September 4th for a baby shower, and Station 4 on August 21st for a party. Comments from the public?
Yeah, I have a couple things. 2 are as a firefighter and 2 as a taxpayer. As a firefighter, I know you should work on the rules and regulations, but can the district come up with who can set policy and who can't? I received an email on March 21st, 2020 from Chief Rosique changing policies as far as qualifications. I sent an email to Becky asking her and telling her what it would do to me as a firefighter. She sent back, "The commissioners do not know what you are referring to. Can you please forward the documents that you're referring to?" I then forwarded that document, which is this document right here, and got no answers back from anyone. Then, just last week, I think it was, there was a question about observers, and Kevin sent us the same copy of the same thing and said, "This is the policy." But in the rules and regulations, you have 4 classes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. There's nothing in there about observer. There's nothing in this policy that he sent out about a level 4. And with this policy here, if we go by it, I might as well resign. Because I can't even be a driver.
Well, policies are set by the district. Your best practices on fire scenes, et cetera, are set by the chief's office.
And if I do remember it, we did have a conversation with Chief Rosique on they cannot set policy. I don't know if anything was ever followed up from him to everyone else. But at this time, there is no changes to the levels and who can do what, or as structural, whatever.
I understand the chiefs control the fire scene. I get that. I don't have a problem with that. But if they're going to change, they're going to write a policy or a SOG, whatever they want to call it, it's got a million names now, and they want to send it out to members, it's got to coincide with the rules and regulations or it can't be there. If somebody, you got to change something somewhere. Everybody can't be in charge of writing policies and SOGs and you got 3 different groups doing it. You stop the fire departments from making any type of policy like that. They tied their hands, but how does a member get by, when every time he turns around, he gets a policy thing? And this is dated 3/17/2020, and it's the same one that Natoli wrote back when he was deployed and he was helping John set these all up. And then John just sent it out. When I asked about it, nothing was done about it. So I'm just asking, as a firefighter, if we could, please do something about this. If you don't want the chiefs to do it, that's fine. If you want them to do it, then you got to give them some direction to go of what they can and can't do as far as policy goes. Because you guys are in charge of the district to say who's qualified to be in the district,
Why
not the
we're
chiefs.
working on the policies as a group.
So,
I can speak to this if you want. The reason why it was sent out, it was an operational directive saying, this is what you need to qualify for operationally for these levels. So, yes, you have a level 1 through 4 medical certification, but we define it further into what operationally you can do on the fire scene. That's the point of that document.
So moving forward, and we already are in the committee, working with Chief D, President Adrian, and President Dunlap on those type of policy changes, bylaws, and or SOGs, best practice, whatever you want to call the operational ones. So it was noted to them, to Chief Rosique, that he cannot create policy. I apologize, nothing was followed up, but that's not how it works.
so if the district writes a policy that you're going to have 4 levels, and to be a level 4, you can do this, this, and this. If the chiefs decide, well, that's fine, but we don't want them on the scene, so they can't come anyway. I'm lost with this. I really am. I've been confused since March of 2020.
It's simple. They can't do it. We will review it. It will go through us going forward. Simple. Done. Said. Do you understand that?
All right.
Okay. So can we move on to whatever your next question, comment is?
Yeah. The radio room, don't shake your head.
I'm going to. So continue.
I'm just as disgusted with this as you are. Red MX, I've been telling you about Red MX for 6 months that you couldn't do something out there. Then all of a sudden we get a paper, we get a thing from you that say, oh, it's got to be updated. Why wasn't it updated? When I asked 5 months ago and said we couldn't do it.
I went up and it worked just fine. 3 times after you told me it worked just fine for me. I was doing back and forth with Alpine, and they came back to me last week and said they have to do an update on the tablet, or the computer here and the computer up there. The reason that it started giving issues is when we got the new tablets in, the software was updated for those, but it was missed to be updated on the other 2. They're able to be signing in for calls. It just didn't allow it to work for meetings, events, etc.
And not only that, the computer is so slow, I can go to the bathroom and come back before it does anything.
So we have it in our budget to replace that one as well as this one in 2022. So those will be fixed, replaced, and taken care of.
Okay, as a firefighter, depending on when this truck comes in, what are the plans of getting a pumper out to Lysander? The Lysander area? Is there any plans, or is it just hit and miss? We're gonna...
Yes, when a pumper comes in, the chief's office is gonna move a pumper out to that station.
That's why we're not trying to order one. That's why we're looking for one that's built now. We don't wanna wait a year, because that's what the minimum build time is. So we're looking for a stock unit that is close, which this is damn close to what we would design, and it quite frankly saves us money. That's exactly why hopefully, October, we'll have something out there that's updated and it'll meet the needs. A Class A pumper with a cap, don't know which one it is, but Yes, you're getting one. You just gotta get it.
What happens at this company that you're going with, which is, I don't, sorry, apologize. This company they're getting with is the one that you said is still on the line being manufactured, which is fine, I understand all of that. What happens if it comes September, they say, well, with the shortage and the way shipments are coming in, we couldn't get this, this, and this, and it's gonna be October, then it's gonna be November, because it's not finished. What are you doing in the meantime to put water, an attack truck out there?
Okay.
They've been without one for 2 months now.
Yeah, we don't have one to put out there. We have to put, excuse my tone, sorry. We have to put the trucks where the people are to get them to you. And right now, the way they've got them planned is you're getting one. We don't have one to sit there for you, that building today. We're doing everything we can to get you one, my friend. Honest to God, it's not, you're not forgotten. We have none to put, we're putting the apparatus, or as our team, we're putting the apparatus where we can staff it and get it to you. We could put 1 million gallons of water out there, my friend. But if we don't have the manpower to support that 1 million gallons of water, it's a moot point. You're getting one. I give you my word
There are
as an
times
elected
that there's
official.
enough manpower to move it. If you were to move the truck that was out there at one time, you have 4 drivers, you have 3 attack people, and they had gotten it out. As a taxpayer who lives in the farthest northwest corner of this fire district, I'm concerned. Because if my kitchen stove catches on fire, I would rather take the chance that the 5 people that can fight a fire in Lysander get to that truck and take it down there than take the chance and wait, because they're just sitting there with a rescue and they say, well, Jack, we would have came, but we'll come down and we'll watch it, but we can't do nothing because you're going to have to wait 11 minutes for a truck from, or 10 minutes for a truck from Baldwinsville. That's being a taxpayer. You don't live that far away, Tony, so it doesn't bother you. It bothers me to see an empty bay in that fire station for as long as it has. And for you to tell me you don't have a truck, bull. You have 5 attack trucks in this area right now. You have a rescue pumper, which is a truck. You have, what, 3 engines? 2 engines, brand new engines. You have a ladder truck, and in your words, a ladder truck is nothing but a fancy pumper. That's 4. Plus you have the big truck.
It's very evident, and I want to stop before this spins out of control. You're not going to be happy with what we do, and I respect that. As a taxpayer, you mentioned yourself, you are absolutely entitled to your opinion, and I respect your opinion. As a taxpayer and as a 45-year member out there, I can tell you, we've considered all options, we've worked with the chief's office, and this is our plan, and we're doing the best that we can. That's the best that I can do for you. No matter what we do, you're not going to agree on.
What does the chief have to say? He's sitting over there.
You don't want to hear what I want to say.
You know, go ahead and say it, Tony. That's why I'm here tonight.
This is not the place to do that, okay? Basically, we cover our entire 59 miles district, with or without help from maybe one station or another station. We have mutual aid that comes in from the other side, closest to you, Cody. You also have Penethil can come in, you have Phoenix can come in. So we're working on that to make sure that we are covered out there. Aside from that, this is an endless argument that can go on forever, and it should not be done here. If you want to talk, I'll come out there. Hopefully someone will show up out there, or you can come here and talk to us. All right, we have tried to work as best as we can to try to make Northwest Fire District work as one unit. And we respond to all calls, no matter where they are within the 59 miles. That's our job, and we're doing it. So right now, we are working towards getting something, and there will be, once we can be assured we're getting something that's new, we can take care of putting something in that empty bay, and then hopefully all of the people that are there and able to respond do respond. The best I can do for you.
Thank you. All right, my next question. I have to agree with Becky. I voted for 5 commissioners as a taxpayer, the 5 commissioners. I didn't vote for Tony, I didn't get a chance to vote for Kevin or whoever else on the truck committee. But when you're spending $500,000 and you just want to talk to them and say, oh, by the way, this is what we decided, so give us over $500,000. I agree with Becky that that commission, whoever they are, committee, should inform the commissioners. They should have informed them before tonight. You're spending $500,000 of taxpayers' money, and Becky and Rick just stood there like, what are we getting? I understand you know what you're getting, but I didn't elect all the chiefs and the committees. I elected the 5 commissioners, and when you're spending $500,000, I want them to know exactly what you're buying and why you're getting it. And who else put in for it and why you didn't like them. I'm done for tonight.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna go through every single manufacturer with you.
I don't want you to.
Well, you just said that, so, it's a move, it's a point that doesn't even need to be talked about right now, because I just said, okay, sorry, I didn't know what they wanted to know. We all talked about it, that I was gonna jump on this and work with the chief's office to do this, so we didn't buy anything, we didn't agree to anything, we agreed that I'm gonna give them the paperwork and we'll make a decision hopefully at the next meeting, so.
Actually, next week. Next week.
Any other comments for any of the public?
I'd like to know the steps and processes that happened before the Federal Order 41.
Well, we covered that already.
Oh, earlier today?
Yes, we did. I'll share with you. I don't know, you said what happened, the steps are very simple. We PM the truck every year from top to bottom, as you know. I was notified by Captain Martin of, I think it was Captain Martin, don't quote me that we had a small oil leak. Before the truck moved, I sent the service center over, just said, hey, I got an oil leak, can you go take a look to see what it is? Is it something that needs to be towed? Is it something we can drive? No, there was a minor oil leak way up to the top of the motor. With the service center recommendation and talking to, got a second opinion from Peterbilt. Let's just take it to, I decided to go with Repair Plus out of Auburn because they were much less money than Penn Detroit. Long story short, the operator pulled the truck out, heading down the road. It chugged, it smoked a little bit. He pulled it over, called me, and I called Big Red Towing immediately. Said, go pick up the darn truck, get it over to Repair Plus. Now, as you can imagine, I'm thinking, oh man, I hope that oil leak, wasn't a contributing factor. So I had the mechanic, the lead mechanic, pull it off, pull the heads off, I pulled the valve cover gaskets off, all kinds of material in there, and oh, by the way, the thermostat was shut. Yeah.
Stuck shut.
Stuck shut, thank you. It overheated, and that's what blew the motor. Coincidentally, it was nothing to do with this simple little oil leak. And as you know, when you walk in and see oil on, it could be a cup of oil and it looks like 35 gallons. So my initial response is, man, I should have had the damn thing towed. Tony Mack should have had it towed. I cost us a motor. Well, doing my due diligence, and thank God, it overheated with the thermostat, was stuck shut. That's it. And then it was determined, do some research, do we put a motor in? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? I was thinking $40,000 for a motor. We did the research, it's not only $40,000, it was $55,000, 12 weeks out, not including what they run into You know, when they pull it apart, we got the transmission in the rear end. So that's when we decided we gotta cut our losses. We paid $12,000. Cody Fire District was grateful enough to sell it to us. We PM the thing every single year that we owned it. We got a truck that held us over for 3 years for $12,000. We couldn't rent one for that. That's what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and that's fact. And that's why it's sitting over at Parts or Repair Plus now until hopefully we get a grant. If we get the grant, that vehicle we applied to the grant based off of that vehicle, and if we can't get rid of it yet until either we get denied the grant or we get the grant. Once we get the grant, the truck can go down the road. That is 100%, Tommy. Everything to the T, to the fact, to the nuts and bolts, to the periods.
My next question was, do you know if the gauge was working or not for the temperature?
It should be. I wasn't notified that it wasn't. I can't say to you, oh my God, it was, or oh my God, it wasn't. I don't know that answer. If it wasn't working, it would be, if we're not told by a chauffeur or an operator, it would be found during the PM, which it was slated. PM stuff, either was just done before or due now. This is when I do all my PMs.
Any other comments or questions? Then I am going to make a motion to go into executive session on an employment matter. Do I have a second?
Yes, second. Are we leaving or are they leaving?
Becky, are you coming back after your executive session?
We'll come back just to close it out.
Okay,
Nothing.
there'll be no more.
Yeah, there's no more activity, honestly, for the evening.
Then one other question, your budget meetings are 6:30? Here,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
I guess since everybody else has talked, I'll chime in really quickly, just for the sake of it. I guess my question here is simple, and I probably already know the answer to this. Where can we find detailed information on any of the calls, or at least, I know there are a couple of websites, for example, Onondaga County, CNY 911, but is there any other, and I have a scanner radio at home, but is there any other information or any other resources where the public can get detailed information on any of the calls?
You can foil anything that you want. You know, we have to work within the laws, but for any call, there's no, magical website that you can go and look up details on call, 650. But if you're looking for something specific, you could always ask for information, call the chief's office, but chances are we're gonna tell you to foil it. So, what we don't want to, there's some stuff on our the Baldwinsville Fire Department Facebook page, but it's not district owned. Foil anything that you want. We work within the laws.
I'm probably not going to foil. I was just curious.
Yep.
I just wanted to speak because everybody else
Fair enough.
had a chance.
Okay, we're going into executive session.